Imagine a world where your company's greatest asset, its ideas, isn't safe behind locked doors or firewalls. In the quiet glow of screens, invisible thieves slip through, stealing blueprints that could redefine industries. But here's the urgent unknown. In 2025 alone, corporate espionage has surged 163% year over year, costing trillions and reshaping economies without a single headline. What if the next big breach isn't from a distant hacker, but an insider you trust? Today, we uncover the boom you never saw coming, revealing patterns from history to now and the paths to protect what's yours. But first, how deep does this shadow go? This is the story of corporate espionage. Not the spy thriller you imagine, but a factual cycle of theft that's accelerated in our interconnected age. Our thesis: corporate espionage, driven by geopolitical rivalries and technological gaps, creates vulnerabilities that erode innovation and trust in global markets, but strategic defenses and cultural shifts can build resilient economies and genuine competitive edges. Let's start at the roots, where espionage wasn't born in code, but in clay and silk. Back in 1712, Jesuit priest François Xavier d'Entrecolle, under the guise of missionary work, smuggled the secrets of Chinese porcelain to Europe. This wasn't random theft. It shattered a monopoly, sparking industrial rivalries that fueled Europe's rise. By the 1780s, French spies targeted Britain's textile machines, leading to protective laws like the 1785 Espionage Act precursors. Fast forward to the 20th century, the Cold War turned espionage into statecraft. Soviet Operation Brunhilde in the 1950s stole Western aviation tech, saving billions in R&D, while the US countered with its own networks. These acts weren't isolated. They mirrored economic cycles where superpowers, facing innovation lags, resorted to shadows. As Kevin Mitnick, the reformed hacker, later reflected, the main tools a social engineer needs are sounding friendly, using corporate lingo, and knowing how to exploit trust. Insiders are the weakest link. This human element has persisted, from porcelain to plutonium, but history shows the human cost. Families uprooted, inventors bankrupt. In post-W. Europe, stolen tech displaced thousands, a pattern we'd see repeated. These early thefts set the stage for modern failures, where oversight turned opportunity into catastrophe. Take Operation Aurora in 2010. Chinese hackers infiltrated Google, stealing source code amid US-China trade frictions. It wasn't just data lost. It exposed how tech giants, focused on growth, overlooked insider risks. Then the 2014 Snowden leaks revealed the NSA spying on allies like Brazil's Petrobras for economic gain, blurring lines between national security and corporate sabotage. This failure wasn't technical alone, it stemmed from misplaced trust. As the Verizon DBIR 2025 notes, 30% of espionage involves US insiders, debunking the myth of foreign-only threats. A pivotal failure: the 2020 SolarWinds hack, attributed to Russia, compromised 18,000 organizations through a supply chain vulnerability. Immediate effects: data hemorrhages costing millions in forensics. But the real failure was systemic. Companies assumed firewalls sufficed, ignoring the 70% of breaches from exploited vulnerabilities. This isn't abstract. It's lives upended, innovation stalled. From these failures emerges a clear pattern: espionage cycles with geopolitical tensions and tech leaps. Historical data from the NBR shows thefts peak during economic slowdowns, like the 2025 post-pandemic recovery, where vulnerabilities double every 18 months, post-AI boom root causes. Nation-state motives, as China's Ministry of State Security drive surges to achieve Made in China 2025 amid US chip bans, corporate greed adds fuel, economic pressures tempt insiders with 20 to 50% salary hikes from rivals. AI exacerbates. Deepfakes enable executive impersonations with a 500% jump in scam since 2020. The pattern is economic Darwinism. Thieves skip $1 trillion in global R&D annually, per the World Economic Forum, fostering dependency. But misconceptions persist. It's not just Hollywood gadgets. 62% of 2025 web app breaches come from phishing, not 0 days. This cycle reveals a truth. Espionage isn't anomaly, but ecosystem, warping markets where breaches signal consolidation waves. Now, see this pattern alive in 2025. China's Nexus attack surged 150% in 2024, targeting 70-plus firms by mid-year, exploiting 0 days like CVE 2025-61932 from the Tick Group parallels to history. Just as Dontracol stole porcelain, modern MSS operatives harvest semiconductors, risking $100 billion in US edges. Corporate parallels hit home. Amazon's 2024 Project Curiosity used shell companies to spy on eBay and Walmart, echoing 1990s GM Volkswagen poaching. And the Rippling Deal lawsuit in March 2025, a planted engineer stole proprietary HR tech, leaking over 1 million customer records in a $1 billion valued fintech rivalry. As FBI Director Wray stated, "We face dual pipelines of dependency, economic displacement, and information compromise, demanding reciprocity, not openness." These aren't distant echoes, they're amplified by AI, where deepfakes cost $25 million in a single CFO scam. The urgency? Verizon reports 17% of 12,195 breaches as espionage-driven, up from 3% in 2024. In APAC, 34% of incidents displace workers, mirroring Europe's €53 billion annual hit and 30,000 German jobs lost. Why this matters to you? Your daily life, from the apps on your phone to the job securing your family's future, depends on protected innovation. This isn't a distant corporate war. It's everyday reality tied to the fact that espionage erodes 2.5% of US GDP annually, potentially raising costs for everything from EVS to healthcare. Imagine your employer's secrets leaked, leading to layoffs or higher prices. In 2025's volatile economy, one overlooked email could cascade into personal loss. But understanding these stakes empowers you to question, to secure, to demand better from leaders. The consequences cascade far. Immediate. Rippling's breach cost $5 million in forensics, but long-term? Stolen IP siphons $600 billion from US GDP yearly, per FBI estimates, stifling R&D cycles. Unexpected second orders, eroded trust spikes and M&A failures by 20%, while black market IP floods markets with knockoffs, displacing jobs worldwide. In 2025, global cybercrime hits $10.5 trillion, with espionage as the silent accelerator. Conflicts intensify. US-China tech wars risk deglobalization, where high-stakes decisions like fortifying audits determine survival. As the Security Scorecard 2025 report warns, in a hyper-connected world, espionage isn't coming, it's here, via supply chains and AI deepfakes that make every video a potential lie. Broader still, it fosters monopolies, warping fair competition and leaving societies dependent on pilfered progress. Yet, solutions exist to break the cycle. Start with zero-trust architectures, verify all access, reducing recovery costs by 30%, as 46% of breaches stem from insiders. Tie to patterns, post geopolitical spikes, audit foreign hires quarterly, echoing historical debriefs, leverage AI defensively. Tools like voice biometrics counter deep fakes, averting $25 million losses. Economically, diversify supply chains, reciprocity clauses in contracts guard against theft waves, as Mitnick advises, train via simulations to cut phishing success by 70%, integrating into ESG for investor trust. On debates, while some push offensive countermeasures, balanced views from lawfare suggest global pacts over restraint, weighing security against innovation chill. Practical principles: view breaches as market signals. Agile firms gain 15% valuation edges by pivoting early. Governments enforce via the 2025 Economic Espionage Prevention Act, sanctioning thieves. We've journeyed from porcelain secrets to digital shadows, seeing how corporate espionage creates vulnerabilities amid geopolitical tensions, but defenses build resilient futures. As the sun sets on unsecured eras, remember, in this silent siege, knowledge is your shield. Contemplate these insights apply them in your world, and rewrite the cycle. If this revelation shifted your perspective on hidden threats, subscribe for more factual dives into business realities. Hit the bell to stay ahead of the shadows. Your next insight awaits.